Oh? Look who's awake. I guess the sedatives finally wore off. Those restraints won't give in easily, you know. Oh, hush now, subject. Asking this and that. You'll give me a migraine. I guess I can humor you a little. What do I mean by subject? We'll look around you. Does one normally wake up strapped to a table with bandages around their torso and stomach? Come on, use your critical thinking skills. Now, don't get agitated. You could pop one of your stitches if you move around too much. Yes, stitches. Probably can't feel them too well because of the anesthetics. That's why you can thrash around so much. You can't feel pain right now. Anyway, let's get back to your questions. As for who I am a scientist. I won't tell you my actual name, just by the very slim chance you managed to get out of here. You can call me Miss, or Doctor if you prefer. As for why you're here, well, you are my latest experiment. Oh, why am I doing this? Well, it's because I need answers. You see, today's scientists are held back by society's morals. You see, unfortunately, scientists of today are held down by the shackles of the common man. The common man has no knowledge or know-how of chemicals and medicines. Hell, they hardly know what that over-the-counter medicine really contains. Imbeciles, really. But I can't blame them wholly for their ignorance. But that is exactly my point. Due to their lack of understanding, they call my experiments cruel and unjust. They call me a manic. But here I am, trying to use my research and experiments to further the knowledge of mankind. After all, how can we truly know the limits of the human body if we are not allowed to experiment on the human body? How do we know that humans have truly reached the peak of their intelligence or the peak of their physical prowess? Because we are not allowed to see it for ourselves. That is what this is about. Specifically, an experiment I've been running for a while now, with partial success thus far. It is to see if a subject can grow extra limbs. You see, I've succeeded in having somebody grow back a limb. I've also succeeded in somebody growing a third or fourth arm, along with an extra leg. We can also control the bone and limb growth and what direction it grows in to an extent. But you see, I want to go further than that. I want to see if the human body is capable of growing extra limbs that aren't native to the human body. Say, a tail or a pair of wings. Can an adult human grow a completely new pair of limbs that are not natural to the human body? Now, like I said, I've had partial success in this area. I've had the subject before you grow a small nub of a tail. Though, unfortunately, they died. Such a shame. They couldn't bear the pain of rapid bone growth and died from the shock. You, on the other hand, have taken well to the injections and the onset of rapid bone growth. Why don't you remember? Well, it's because you've been sedated for the most part. You are also one of the most resilient test subjects I've had the pleasure of experimenting on. Why you? Little subject. You shouldn't think so deeply about it. Why you? You were chosen by chance because you fit a few criteria. Well, one of them is that you've distanced yourself from many people physically. You have a lot of online connections. You don't get close to your coworkers, and you're known to be particularly closed off. Oh, what does that have to do with anything? Don't you understand? It's because you're isolated. It's normal for you to go days without contacting anybody that you physically meet. Meaning when people notice that you've disappeared, it would have already been an extended period of time, so it would be harder to find traces of you. I won't get away with this, you say. Let me ask you, who would look for you? You shoved everyone that's ever cared about you away, all except for your little online connections. Which isn't to say they don't care for you, but really, what can they do? Silent now? Are you done with your questions? Good. Now lay back down. I have to check your stitches since you thrashed around so much. Not the waterworks. If I knew you were going to cry, I would have kept you sedated. Done sniffling? Why did I cut into you if I only injected you? It's because of your new muscle growth. I have to help direct it. You are growing a second pair of biceps, but the human body isn't suited for such growth, especially since you're a fully grown adult. So, I have to cut into your old muscles for the new muscles to attach to them, pathing a new set of muscles and nerves. This will also ensure you have the use of your arms, since if I left your back muscles alone, the new muscles would have crashed into your old muscles and have become entangled, making it hard to move your arm or wings independently. How do I know? Well, as I'm sure you know, you are not my first nor last subject. For my first semi-successful trials, I was too complacent. I simply watched the new muscles and bone growth with amazement, not realizing how entangled the other subject's bones were becoming. Now they've become a horrendous mass of muscles, skin, and bones. New bone keeps growing out of old skin, while muscle, nerves, and blood vessels try to cover up the new bone. The skin has a hard time keeping up with the onset of rapid growth, so it makes quite a mess. How am I able to get away with this? Such ignorance. Of course, I was able to get permission. There are many who want to alter their bodies. Some even believe that this could be one of the keys to immortality. Their ignorance aside, they make sure I have all the tools and test subjects I need. How could they support this? Oh, my poor little lamb. It's simple. Those rich and above don't care what happens to the people they think are beneath them. As long as I don't provide the grisly details and don't get blatantly exposed, everything will continue. I will continue with my research, and after I produce satisfactory results with this project, I can simply start anew. What other projects do I have in mind? Well, I have always been curious if I could create another human being, though it has been done again and again, with failure being the end result. But if I can successfully grow different bodily structures, who's to say I can't create a body and then fuse the parts together? Though, that is neither here nor now. We've wasted a lot of time standing here drabbling. Your bandages still need to be changed, and there are several tests that we still need to run. Let us continue with the experiments, little lamb.